Welcome, everybody. It Tastes Different Gaming News. What's in the news today? Fan revived MMO of City of Heroes. All right, this episode brought to you by I Can't Believe It's Not Corn, because it's not. So let's jump into news. Fan revived MMO given official license to continue. A community of dedicated fans is keeping City of Heroes alive, and NCSoft, the original developers, are happy about it. City of Heroes was a beloved MMORPG that launched in April of 2004 and lasted a little over 8 years. And in that time, it won a dedicated community of players. Even when the game died, they kept that game going. But now, the developers behind the City of Heroes have given one private server their official thumbs up to keep it going on. In 2012, the superhero MMO City of Heroes was officially shut down, and a lot of people were upset about it, but not everyone stopped playing. In 2019, it became public that a secret, unofficial private server running the game had existed in the years since the game's death. Following a meltdown of the game's community, folks running that server eventually released the game's code online, and some other private servers popped up. But there was always fear, hence the first private server being kept secret for so long, that the developers, NCSoft, would one day show up and put a stop to all of that, since they owned the code and the IP. But on January 4th, the developers behind the unofficial fan-run project Homecoming announced that NCSoft had no plans to kill the most popular City of Heroes private server. Instead, the company did something surprising and provided the developers with an official license to maintain the City of Heroes servers. And there's a lot more love and praise going on beyond that in this article. But I want to go to my MMO brethren here. I've never played this game. The reason I wanted to read this article is because NCSoft did something other developers should. They should look at people's passions. They should look at what they're doing and give them the keys to carry on. That's not hurting them. It's not costing them money. What they're doing is they're keeping their passions alive. You know, even though they couldn't financially keep it going themselves for whatever reason, they've got these people out here doing it themselves. And all that's doing is giving more love to what they created. I think this is awesome. We have said this 1,000 times about, community mods, community getting in there and recreating these games from ground up and passions like that. I think we should see more developers do this. I think we should see more developers understand that just because they killed it doesn't mean it can truly be dead if you have people out there that still want it. You have you have people out there recreating games from the ground up that the developers get pissy about for some reason. It's not costing them money. It's not costing them time. It's not costing them anything. It's actually giving them voice. And that should continue. I personally think this is a beautiful story. I think this is a story we should see more often in the gaming industry. So my kudos to NCSoft just for that alone. And like I said, I'm not an MMO guy. I'm not an MMORPG guy at all. I dabble, just because you guys say, hey, you should play this. I've done Final Fantasy 14, blah, blah, blah. But this is your realm. So, Pat, I believe you talked and you've played City of Heroes. So what do you think about this as far as the game and what NCSoft has done?
I loved City of Heroes and City of Villains when it was existing before they shut it down. I was a subscriber. I played for quite a while and had multiple friends on there. And, it was a good concept for a game. It was, superhero, create your own superhero. What superpowers do you want? What do you want your superhero to look like? You do adventures with your superhero friends. You know, it was a fun game, cool concept, interesting way of doing story arcs and instances and things like that, while still maintaining the kind of concept of a little bit of the Holy Trinity, right? You had DPS, you had tankish type characters, you had healers, you know, you had all that kind of stuff. And it was a really fun and interesting game. I played a lot of it. I kind of waned a little bit, came back for City of Villains, but then, you know, played a little bit of City of Villains, and then kind of quit playing and then heard they were shutting it down and got a little nostalgia, played a little bit and it shut down. I never did play on the private servers just because sometimes getting those games to work can be a pain. But I've done them. So good on NCSoft. You know, they're going the opposite direction of Blizzard. If you don't know, Blizzard shut down all those private classic servers back in the day because they wanted to roll out their own classic server, you know. My biggest problem is that if a company is not going to support a game anymore and they shut down the servers, and I think fans should have the right, as long as they're not profiting off of it, you know, they're not selling it, to revive something like that. I mean, you know, there should be some type of protection. Like City of Heroes shut down. Okay. It's an MMO. Unless you want to take time to learn to develop or run your own private server, then there's nothing you can do about it. But a group takes it on and works truly off donations. I'm all for that. I mean, because the developer no longer wants to support it. What's wrong with fans taking over the support of it and not requiring you to buy the game from them? You know, because that wouldn't be legal. They don't own the rights to the game. They don't own the licensing. You know, so to me, I think fan takeover of games that are non-existent anymore or non-running by the publisher or developer should be fair game, in my opinion. You know, that gets some legality, like not Microsoft, but Blizzard. Basically, I don't think, you know, Blizzard probably didn't have a clue or a desire to make classic servers until these group of servers that you know, took off, and there was thousands of players doing it. Blizzard's like, you know what, I can make money off of that. I can start charging people to play on classic servers that, you know, are WoW or classic, you know, vanilla, and then we'll do Burning Crusades and so on and so forth and so forth. And we'll have servers that just have those active on them, and we'll charge people the normal subscription price for it. You know, I think that idea came from that, but they just went about it the complete wrong way. But it's their job as a business. They decided to revive it, and I'm like, okay. To me, part of me says they did them dirty, but at the same time, it's not like Blizzard just shut them down for the hell of it and didn't do anything with it. So this would have been bad on NCSoft, I think, if they would have went after them and shut them down. They would have had every legal right to do so. But in the fans' eyes, it's like, you're not doing anything with it. If you're doing something with it, cool. Open it up, bring it back. We'll jump back in. Instead, they basically sanctioned this, if you will, with some restrictions. They're like, run it as a multi, you know, a single box shard type thing. Run it that way. You know, they've got a couple restrictions on there, which I'm fine with. It's their game. They can tell you what to do with it, but at least they're not like, you cease and desist. You know, they're not Activision. They're not Blizzard. You know, and there's been others out there, but I'm all for this and glad to hear it. I mean, it kind of gave me some nostalgia. I'll be honest. When I saw the news, I'm like, ooh, I went and installed that and another super old MMO that's running on private server called Earth and Beyond. I'm like, oh yeah, got to get back into some of those old ones. So I popped in a couple of older games and, you know, I got them downloaded. I haven't got to jump into them yet, but this weekend is probably going to be some older MMOs. I'm going to jump back into City of Heroes and play, make me a new character, level up, see if I can handle the older graphics still. Earth and Beyond will be a little difficult because those graphics are really old, you know, 2002, 2004. So, but to me, this is a great move. And it shows that, you know, they're not out of touch. You know, there's no reason for them to give a cease and desist. They're basically just playing nice and be like, you can do this with our blessing, with some restrictions or some requirements, if you will. So kudos on NCSoft. I'm glad to see it. And I completely forgot about that game. So I've loaded it back up and I'm going to get back into it this weekend. How about you, Nick? What do you think about this move by NCSoft?
Yeah, it's a good move. It's good on them. Like you said, it's I hate when you have fans that do passion projects like this, and then you have a company that comes in and says no, and it's like, okay, great, so you're going to do something with it. They're like, no. It's like, well, then if you're not going to do anything with it, then give it to someone else who's going to do something with it, right? There's no point in you sitting on, for NCSoft, there's no point in them sitting on City of Heroes if they're not going to do anything with that property. I mean, they got Throne in Liberty coming out here soon, so NCSoft does. So they're probably 100% focused on that game and not on an old game like City of Heroes. So that's awesome. That's great. I'm happy for them. I did play City of Heroes back in the day for a little bit. I had some hero characters and stuff like that. I think I stopped playing before City of Villains came out because I probably went off and started playing other things. But I do remember having some and then of course Champions Online, which I think is still around, right? I think that one's still going. But that was kind of based off of what City of Heroes did. But City of Heroes was the first, and it was a cool concept, like you said, to create your own. You had to create your own hero, all their powers and who they were, and their backstory and stuff like that, and just you had to create your own like comic book superhero, and then play it in this game with whatever powers you wanted, right? And based on certain limitations and stuff like that. But you could pretty much have a whatever type of character that flies or shoots laser beams out of their eyes or frost breath, that type of stuff. Just like Batman. So, you could create any type of character. It was a really cool game. I don't know if I would get back into it personally. I do enjoy the game. If Pat said, hey, download City of Heroes and let's play together, I'd be like, okay. Cause that's the type of person I am. But, that's awesome. That's awesome for those individuals who are playing this game, who like it. And I'm glad NCSoft came in and said, pretty much gave them their blessing and said, hey, you can officially go ahead and run this. And, we're not going to cease and desist or shut you down. We're not doing anything with the property. So go for it. You have our blessing. And that's awesome. And I think you guys are exactly right. I think more developers, especially if you're not going to do anything with the property, looking at you, Konami, if you're not going to do anything with the property, then give it to someone who's going to, right? Whether that be another developer or the fans or whoever, right? A lot of developers do this, not just Konami, EA, Activision, Konami, Microsoft, Sony. They sit on a lot of old properties. Capcom, they sit on a lot of old properties that they never do anything with. And it's like, if you're not going to do that, there's a bunch of fans out there that would definitely take a property and make something really cool out of it. There's other developers that would take a property and make something cool out of it. So even if you don't want to sell that property off, at least allow, sell the license in this case, or in this case, they gave it to them, but sell the license out to say, hey, you can take this property and make something with it, especially if us, the developer, is not going to do anything with it. So it's a win-win. It's really good. It's good PR for NCSoft in this case, and because NCSoft isn't always the best when it comes to their MMOs and stuff. Maybe this is to put them into the news because, like I said, Throne in Liberty is coming out here sometime at the beginning of this year, I believe. So maybe they're trying to say, hey, remember us? We're making a new MMO. We let this one live. Now come check out our new one. I don't know, but that's awesome. I'm really happy for the developers, and they're still making content for the game, right? So even the one that Pat was talking about, Earth and Beyond, they were those people running those private servers are also making content. Some new content for it. So it's really cool to see the fans step in and continue to grow a game past its official support, right? And continue to have the love and everything like that. It may not have 10,000 or 10 million or however many players, but that small player group that it does have absolutely love the game and continue to support it and let it go and continue on. So, if you're big into City of Heroes, or if you're like Pat and you forgot that game existed, which I'm on the same boat until this article, I was like, oh yeah, that was an MMO. And you're, have a hankering to play it, then go check it out on the private server. And if you can, and you like what they're doing and you want to continue playing, definitely look to possibly donate to them so they can continue to support the server, because it's not cheap to host a server like that. And also support it at the same time and make new content for the game and have events. I'm sure they probably do Christmas events and Halloween events and various things like that, as well as adding new stuff to the game where they can, right? At whatever pace they can. It's probably not a huge team of people. So even a small group of people need some support from the community, especially if it's something you're really into. So super excited for it. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
These things need to happen more often. So sorry, Pat, didn't mean to cut you off. Like I said, you guys are the MMO guys, but I am the nostalgia queen. I think when you have people that are this dedicated, that do these types of things, because they've got people out there recreating these games from the ground up. Like you said, it's not cheap. And to have at least the okay from the original developers and things like that, that's just a feather in a cap. It doesn't hurt them. And honestly, you have people like you said, Nick, Konami, you bastards. They were there. There was people out there trying to remake Metal Gear Solid and Unreal Engine 4, I think, at the time, and they were told stop. Resident Evil Code Veronica, there was a group trying to redo that one, and they were told stop. It's why is it hurting you? Even better, partner with them. Let them do all the work. You take 75% of the profits. It's a win-win. But people don't do it, and to see NCSoft do this, it just makes me giddy like a schoolgirl. Sorry, Pat, you go ahead now.
No, it's all good. Like I said, I am wholeheartedly going to jump in and check this out. Now, I imagine that there's going to be some increased costs for the folks, right, that are running this, because they have some licensing commitments to meet and stuff like that now. So if I highly recommend, and I do this stuff too. If you play these games and you enjoy them, just like any other MMO, I was glad to give them my $9.99, $14.99 subscription. I donate to because it's all foundational donations. It's they're an NPO, so they work solely off of donations, and that's how they pay for the server. That's how they pay for anything and everything they need. So it's just like anything. If as much as I hate mobile gaming, if you play a mobile game, in my opinion, and you want to support that developer, you should probably throw a little bit of money their way, whether it's $2 or $5 or something. You should do that. That supports them, right? And the same thing for any free MMO. I have no problem with a free game charging for skins, right? That's my whole concept, and you guys have probably heard it a million times. If you have a free game and a buy shop is your only source of income for the game, and they're play to win type stuff, I'm like all for giving them some money for a skin. So if I play your game for a week or 5 days or a month, I'm going to give you a little something by buying a skin or whatever. And in this case, I'm going to donate to those group of people that maintain this game, because it's just the right thing to do, right? You're getting some enjoyment and some entertainment. You pay for all forms of entertainment out of your life. Even if you can only afford $1 or $5, give something, right?
Yeah, we need more stories like this. Let's continue 2024 with stories that are good, because we got enough crap in the world. Let's get more NCSoft love out there.
This will be the last good story, so get ready for the all going downhill from here.
Well, we've already got one closure, so thanks, Nick. Ruined my day, you bastard. All right, so Pat, do you have anything else to say about this before we go? On the positive side, because Nick's a bummer.
Nope. Go play City of Heroes from the Homecoming group, and yes, give them a little bit of some donations. I think they do like I think when I was reading their forums, they do the last Saturday of the month or something donations. They actually post a breakdown of their costs for the month. So I mean, come on, that's pretty open as it gets. Here's our cost for the month. Let's give them some money so they don't have to pay for that out of their own pockets, or at the bare minimum, they pay very little, like $5-10. So, like I said, they post that stuff and you can get in and check it out. I mean, from what it looks like their costs are, they aren't cheap. Like they're paying I think they posted the January one, December one already, and they had $4,400 in hardware infrastructure costs. So donations are what keeps something like this alive, and that's their largest cost. I think looking at this, it looks like they're a little over $5,000, maybe $5,100 worth of cost. So keep donating, people. I mean, technically, if it was a regular MMO, you're going to pay $14 a month anyway. So why can't you give them $10? Something. So that's where I'm at.
Yep. Listen to Pat because he's right. People like this deserve the money. They deserve that monthly $5-10, whatever you can give. Big companies, screw them. I ain't paying them crap. But you guys ain't got nothing else. We're going to head on out because this is a good story. We want to end it on a positive note before Nick ruins it. So thank you for listening all the way through. If you have any thoughts, feelings about this story, about this game, about Homecoming, about this topic in general, where you have people that are passionate about games and you have companies that want to step on that passion, let us know what you think. Don't forget to hit those notifications, hit that subscription, give us a head up, and we'll see you next time. See ya.